Hello. So after the sequence known as grasp the sparrow's tail, we move from the push, the final move of that sequence, into single whip. So from push into single whip. There are a few lovely, interesting complications to this sequence. It can be done in various little ways. There are several variations in how the arms come around, but to keep it simple, we simply release the push, settle to the center, and then continue into the left hip, turning the right toes in, and then adjusting the right heel out. So from facing along this way, my foot hasn't just come to 90 degrees, but it's slightly beyond that angle. It's not just towards you, it's very slightly further past, as though, but not quite to the corner. So it's only maybe 20 or 30 degrees away from the line across. Release the push, settling to the center, continuing into the left foot, toes in, heel out. It's possible to emphasize this position as a pushing and sit the wrists on the way out. It's also permissible to have this as a supporting, or you can do one of each, one hand supporting and one hand pressing a little. But the simplest way is to have a sense of pressing away, keeping an extension to the fingertips, so you're not stretching the arms away from you, no overstretching and tensing the shoulders. We're not deeply sitting the wrist, but we're extending through the wrist, palm and fingertips. This is similar to how we see these extended movements in the Badranjin section 2. From here, we release that sense of pushing, pressing to the corner, settle the right foot down into the ground and settle directly into the right hip. The left arm drops down and the right fingers gather around the index finger. I find this tricky on my right hand, I have an old injury, but it's the three fingers come around the tip of the index finger. So the tip of the index finger may still be poking out just a little bit. Release into the right foot, gathering with the whip hand around the index finger. Now, as we settle and step, the left hand goes with the left leg, settling to the center, and then sitting the left wrist, extending from the armpit all the way under the hand and in to the edge of the hand, the lower edge of the hand. So towards you, left arm, left leg together, settling center, pressing away. Because the left hand is out, it can feel sometimes like there's an idea of emphasizing that left hand push, but we need to understand that actually the push is relatively symmetrical in its nature, but asymmetric in its position. The stance is quite narrow. So in our usual forward bow stance, the heels are maybe on 45 degrees from each other, and there's a good solid shoulder width apart between the heels. This gives us access to our hip track. We can on occasion step slightly wider, so this creates more of a lateral force, a lateral moving in the stance. But if we narrow it just a little, so there's still a clear channel between the heels, what we find is it's now tricky to properly settle that left hip. So the pelvis is very slightly angled. And it's because of that that it can sometimes feel a little stiff in the hips. We still need to find out our methods of breath and calm and center and root, so that we're releasing around the waist, releasing through the hips, finding the soles of the feet will prevent the inclination to overstretch with that left hand. So one more time from the side, and releasing, centering, then left foot, hands going across, adjusting right foot, weight on right foot, left hand drops, right hand into the whip hand, inside circle with the left palm facing the chin, left heel and arm go across. Notice my gaze isn't following that arm yet. My gaze is between the two hands. Then, as that foot goes down, shifting the weight, pressing away with the left hand, breath, calm, center, and root to ensure a nice centeredness and rootedness in the whole of the posture. So that was the movement from push into single whip, finishing there.